As you open up PowerPoint, we have tons of themes to choose from. Right up front, we're going to go to the first line, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to the fourth one called Ion. We're going to click. And as we click, it shows the Ion layout. Over to the right, you have different variances. Basically, the theme is what the theme of your entire presentation will be. Your variant is basically the different color schemes that you can choose from. Now, we can choose Create, and our theme will be applied. Another way to choose a theme, you go to your Design tab, and your themes are located here. Over here is your variant groups. Notice you can hover over, not select, but hover, and you can preview the difference. You can also click the little arrow called More, and it provides you with the colors, the fonts, the effects, so you can manually create those as well. Over here on the themes, you are also able to click the More button, and it gives you the list of different themes to choose from. We are going to go ahead and stick with Ion for this project. As you open up a new presentation, the default title slide layout appears. The purpose of this is basically to introduce your presentation to the audience. And notice that the default is a landscape orientation, more from side to side instead of up and down. Okay, so first of all, we notice that on our title slide, we have two boxes, dotted lines. First is the presentation title, and below is the subtitle. Now, these little boxes are called placeholders. Basically, these are there displayed when you create a new slide, just for to hold text, show you where the most common places to add text would be located. So here we are going to add the words healthy hydration. That is our title. Now we are going to click on the subtitle, and we are going to type in drinking water while exercising. Now, notice that the difference, the title is lowercase letters except for the beginning. It's called sentence case, and it's white text. Notice, and the font is bigger. Notice, of course, it's smaller, all capitalized, and even a different color, basically to display what is your title and what is your subtitle. Now, to select a word or paragraph, it's basically just the same as Word. So there are several ways to do this, as in you can put our insertion point to edit that subtitle. We can put it at the end of that word. We can left click, hold, and drag in order to highlight those. Notice that our mini toolbar then pops up for us to bold, italicize, or underline. And notice the shortcuts. For bold, we have Control B. For italicize, Control I. For underline, Control U. We can also do our font size. We can increase, decrease, all the things that we can do into Word. We can also put our insertion point at the end of exercising. And if we were to press Control, Shift, and the left arrow key, notice that we are able to highlight the words beginning at the right to the left. Now, if we were to press Control Shift and hit the left arrow, notice that it does everything to the left of the insertion point. This is the title slide. Now we want to add a new slide. So there are several ways to do this. The orange around the title slide indicates that the title slide is selected. So we want to make sure that's selected, right click, and we can add a new slide, duplicate a new slide, or delete a slide. We are also able to highlight the layout and go over and choose a different layout. Notice all of these different forms. Here we have a title placeholder at the very top and a really big content placeholder. Notice over here we have a small title placeholder, as well as 2 content placeholder boxes. Another way, let's go ahead and select out of that. With this still highlighted, we can select under the Home tab and under Slides group, under New Slide, we can click the arrow and it provides the slide layouts. Under this area, we can also duplicate selected slides, which means that you can duplicate more than one slide at a time. So we are going to go ahead and select a To Content, and notice that when this appears, then it is automatically selected with the orange box around the slide. We then can add a title, okay, and notice that here with the little boxes around, it goes to show that we are in editing. Now when we deselect out of that, those white lines and those boxes will disappear, kind of displaying what your audience will see when the presentation is in presentation mode. Now, notice that these boxes have different items to choose from. All of these are also located inside your tabs. This is just kind of like a shortcut for you guys to insert your images here. So, from here, we are also going to duplicate a slide. So if we want to duplicate this water, your essential nutrient, go ahead and right click and we will duplicate that slide. Notice the new slide, which is identical to number 2, is now selected. We can now go ahead and change the wording . So that way we can differentiate from slide 2 and slide 3. Now, another way to do this, we can select number 2. We can go under the Home tab and under the clipboard, we can cut that slide, which automatically takes that slide out. Then we can go over to our paste options, paste. Notice that it pasted underneath number 2, which used to be number 3. We can go ahead and click. In order to move that, we are able to slide it above. Okay? Next way to duplicate a slide, we can highlight, go up to Copy, and then we can select down in this area, which our orange box will now become just an orange line. We can then right click and we have the options to paste. Or we can go up to our paste option and paste it there. Now, we can also right click on a slide and we can copy, cut, paste all through our shortcut menus as well. There are several ways in order to add a new slide, copy, paste, or cut any of that. The last thing that I want to show you about duplicating a slide is go ahead and click on number 3. We are going to press the Control key on our keyboard, and then we are going to select number 1. Notice that the orange boxes are on 1 and 3 only. We then can go up to New Slide, and at the very bottom we have Duplicate Selected Slides. We can click that and it then brings it down. Notice that we now have a duplication of number 1 and a duplication of number 3, and they're all together. Now, if we wanted to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and deselect, and we're going to highlight number 5 and number 4. You can do that by pressing Control or Shift and click the next slide. We can right click and we can delete those slides. Right click, delete. Okay, now we are back at our title slide, our water, your essential nutrients, and our exercising slide. Now, there are several ways to correct a mistake when typing. For instance, let's go ahead and click into our subtitle, and we are going to erase exercising and go ahead and put in a misspelled word. we're going to press enter. And notice that the line, just as in Word, appears. So we are able to right click and find out what our dictionary provides us, as well as we can put our insertion point at the end of the word and begin backspacing. Another way is to highlight, go to your Home tab. You can cut, copy, paste. All of your clipboard formatting is here as well. Highlight and delete the word. Now, in the top left-hand corner, if you were to hover over this little arrow, it says undo typing. If we are to click that, it brings us back a step. If we go to this next arrow, it says redo typing. We are able to click that and it does what we redone. So if you were to go ahead and go back to the undo typing, which is also Control Z, then we can click this little arrow and we can go undo up to 20 mistakes or errors or items that we have done. But notice that when I take my mouse, all I'm doing is going down the list. I'm not clicking, I'm not doing any of that. So you are unable to go from typing, skip autocorrect and go to typing. You would actually have to include that. So then it would undo everything that would be on that list. To zoom in on a slide is very similar to what Word has for you. Down at the bottom right-hand corner, you have your zoom slide. Notice that when you click, hold, and you drag, it makes your slides bigger or smaller. Notice that it does not do anything to the area over here because this is just like a preview. Okay, this is your actual slide, so it will make your editing slide bigger or smaller. You are also able to click on the number, click, and it brings up your Zoom dialog menu. We'll go to 100%, click OK, there you have it. Another way, you can go to View. Under the Zoom group, you have Zoom Fit to Window. Your Zoom brings up the dialog box, as so does your numbers down here. Now we are going to create a multi-level bulleted list in our PowerPoint. So we're going to select on slide 2, water, your essential nutrient. Okay, when we click into our placeholder, it automatically puts a bulleted list. Well, it starts one. So basically what we're going to do here is we are going to go ahead and pop in some text. Notice that when we press enter, it then pushes it down to the next bullet. Notice that the first bullet is like a bolder color, and then the next one is gray. That's grayed out until you actually put some text into your text box. Okay? Notice when we start writing, it then bolds it out. So basically what we want to do here is we want to push or tab over our next item. So there are several ways to do that. First off, we can press the tab button on our keyboard and then insert our information, as you see there. Or we can go to the Home tab. Under the Paragraphs group, we can go to Increase List Level, click, and it'll move it over. Now, notice that the button to the left is Decrease List Level. When you click that, it then pushes the list back over to where they began. So we're going to go ahead and finish up our list, and we are going to take this and decrease, add the information, and then we are going to increase the next bullet point, and we are going to insert that, and we are going to keep the next bullet point as is and do that one as well. Now, in order to get away from this little grayed out arrow or bullet list, you can deselect and it automatically takes it away, or you can backspace.